Grisham Designs. Today I'm working on an autumn sunflower, and I thought I would show you what I was doing. Let me show you the colors that I've chosen for this flower. Again, it's an autumn, and I thought the golden yellows, oranges, and burgundies work well for this time of year. So I've got my sunflower started, but what I'm using is a yellow, well, I think it's sunflower yellow fabric mesh. I'm using this new orange foiled mesh that I got from Craft Outlet. I'm using some regular decomesh. It's thin. It's a golden yellow also. I'm picking up a few pieces of this golden yellow with the gold thread through it. And for my lolly petals around my flower, I'm using a burgundy or maroon, whatever you want to call it, horizontal wide stripe and an orange foiled mesh on the inside. You'll see that one of the things that I like to do is to put my colors together, to mix them, to get new shades and to give nuance to my petals. I'll show you now what I've done so far. Before I do that, I'm going to show you my sunflower. This sunflower was golden yellow. You can kind of see back here. It was just a normal sunflower. I believe this is the 11-inch flowers. I get these also from Craft Outlet. I took a red craft paint, just acrylic that you can get at Walmart, and a rose gold acrylic, and I painted the leaves or petals of this sunflower. You can take the yellow sunflowers and you can make them whatever color you'd like, and I love to play with it. So anyway, this is going to be my center, and this is what I've done so far. I'm using the large Unique in the Creek board. My lolly petals go around the sunflower like this. It's just one of the things that I like to do for it's just a style, I guess. But for that, I was using the burgundy and the orange. It's layered. And in these petals, I'm using the foiled orange and the gold lightly foiled decomesh. And then I'm alternating the fabric mesh with the regular mesh. And you can see the dimension in the flower that's already started. So that's what I'm doing. As far as loading your board, you can see I've used every hole and shared hole on row 2. On row 1, I used every other hole for my leaves. The leaves are poly burlap. I believe it is lime green. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I've used. Okay, so that's like row 1 of every other hole. Row 2, every hole, every shared hole. Row 3, every other set of holes. Row 4, every other set of holes. And you won't need to use the center because that's where your sunflower is going to go. All right? Okay, let me show you how to make this petal. It is my favorite petal. I use it all the time in my sunflowers. I also use it, if you've watched any of my videos, you've noticed that I've used it for my turkey tail and my rooster wreaths. So, anyway, let's bring you down to the table. Okay, for the outer petals, I'm going to use the heavy foiled orange and this golden yellow, just regular decomesh with a foil thread. I'm going to keep the golden yellow on the outside, put the orange, on the inside like this. Try to line up your sides, your edges. There we go, and we have our curl side up. I'm going to take this and I'm going to form it into a diamond, just like this. And then I'm going to take the top corner and the bottom corner. I'm going to bring them into the middle. Now, you can cross over either way. It doesn't really matter. Well, what happens when you do that, this point, it will turn if you do it, depending on which way you turn it. Also, depending on how far down you bring these corners, like this. You want to have kind of a point up here. Again, this is exactly how I did my turkey feathers. Right, I'm going to put that down like that. I'm going to pinch it in the middle, trying to catch all that mesh. I'm going to pinch it again and again to get all this in to the center. And if you pinch it twice, 3 times, however times it takes, and you end up with this, okay, I'm going to take a zip tie. These are little 6-inch zip ties, and close this up. And this is quite thick. This heavy foiled orange mesh is quite substantial. Okay, this is what I have. Okay, bring that up a little bit, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut off this zip tie and trim my mesh here. And then I can put this right on the board. Okay, and I'm skipping. On row 2, I've got in every hole and shared hole. I'm skipping the shared hole and going to the regular hole, putting that in, making sure that when I do, I make sure that that zip tie that's holding the petal, or if you use rubber band, the zip tie that's on the board goes above that to make sure it catches, all right? Just like that. So let's make another one of the orange. Again, I'm going to take my orange foil and one of the golden with the threads, put them together. Okay, like this. Turn it into a diamond. Pull these 2 corners in, the opposite corners in, like this. Pulling this down. I'm going to fix this a little bit. Pulling this down where I have like a line across, right from edge to edge, right here. Okay. I've got a little point going up here. I'm going to pinch that in the middle, and then pinch again and pull this in. And pinch and pull it in. If you're working with thinner mesh, you'll be able to do pull that in like 3 times. This is very thick since I'm using 2 pieces, and so I've had to just pull in twice instead of 3 times. Okay, cut this up. I'm using some heavy-duty scissors, but sometimes they don't seem to be so heavy-duty. Here we go, making a mess. There's my petal. Let's get rid of this. Okay, put this on the board. There's the petal. I'm going to skip the shared hole here, and then go to the regular hole and put this one right on the board. You'll notice that these take on a life of their own. Look how this one is curled up, and sometimes the gold and the orange will kind of separate some, and I think that's very pretty. So don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and cut these tails. They're kind of getting in the way. All right. I'm going to make the rest of my orange petals and fill out row 2, and then I'll be back, show you how to do the petals. They're actually the same for every row. They just look different because of the different textures, but I'll be back in just a moment. Well, I'm back, and I've got all my outer orange and gold petals on. Now I'm going to go to in between these petals. I told you that it was every hole and every shared hole. I'm going to go to the shared holes, and I'm going to actually add a piece of regular decomesh and a piece of fabric mesh, making 2 petals, separate petals, to put in each of these in between sections, and you can see what it does. It really fills it out, gives it a nice feathery sunflower look. So I'm going to do that. They're the same petal, the exact same petal. We're just going to put 2 of them together side by side instead of on top of each other. So let me bring you down and I'll show you what I mean, or exactly how I do it anyway. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of fabric mesh. This is the golden yellow. And I'm going to take it, turn it into a diamond, and I'm going to take these two corners here, bring them in, cross them. There we go, like this. Making sure I have a point down here. I'm going to pinch it and pinch and pinch. And do the same on this side. I have this. I'm going to take a clip and hold that. Get a piece of the decomesh. It's a different texture, and that's what I'm looking for anyway, is to add dimension and texture to my wreaths, and this is how I do it. Now I'm doing the same thing with this, pinching it in the middle and gathering on the sides, just like that, right? And I'm putting these together on the board, making sure that every time, let's see, I put it, I gotta think here, yes, it goes, let's see, the fabric mesh goes on the right, so when I turn these over, or on the left I mean, it's like this, okay? I'll put these two together, like this, right? I'm gonna clip them together. Grab a zip tie. Again, I'm using a 6-inch zip tie for this. These are nice and handy to have around. As you can see, I need help with this. That's why I use zip ties instead of rubber bands. Pull that together. Now I've got these two. They're going every which way. That's fine. I'm going to clip this and trim my excess here. And then I can put this on my board. Here we go. I'm going to go right here. I've got a fabric mesh right here, and this, I've done it right. This deco mesh goes next to the fabric mesh right here between these two orange ones, making sure that I get that zip tie in there. Now see, it's got to go right in there. Go like that, and I'll go ahead and leave that zip tie for now. That's how you do it. On the next row, we're just going to do single fold, the single fold in one color. Okay, I'm going to finish up this outer row, this row 2, with my mixture of the two golds, and I'll be back and we'll get this thing finished. Okay, I finished row 2. This is what it looks like on row 2, right here, with the orange and gold mixed, and then the two different textures of the sunflower yellow or gold petals across here. Now I'm going to go to row 3, this one being the ones for the leaves, 2 being this outer one where we used every hole and every shared hole, and now I'm going to go in to row 3. And on row 3, I'm just going to use my fabric mesh in the sunflower yellow, the same petal all across row 3 in just the regular holes. So I will go ahead and do that, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like. Well, we have finished row 3, and our sunflower is looking pretty darn big and gorgeous. So now we're going to go into row 4, where we have our lolly petals. These are a double layer of the orange metallic with the just plain horizontal wide stripe burgundy. Let me bring you down to my board and show you how I'm going to make those. Okay, I'm going to take my burgundy and my orange, and this is just a regular deco mesh with a foil, just a foil thread through it, like this. I'm going to put my burgundy on the outside and layer these. These are 10 by 10. Everything I've used is a 10 by 10 inch piece, unless I measured it and it was 10 and a half. So, but anyway, we're going to do it like this. We're going to turn it into a diamond and bring our top down to our bottom, like this. trying to get your edges even. I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm going to stretch it a tad. And this is, you're going to have to really use your hands on this because you've got some really thick mesh going on here. I'm going to pinch it right there and then pull this in. I'm going up about right there and pulling this in like this. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to push this in. This helps me here a little bit. I'm going to take this and kind of curl it up a little bit and pull it in. Do the same thing on this side. Pull it in. Up and pull it in. And there I have a lolly petal. Right? Now I'm going to take a zip tie. And these I would highly recommend when you use 2 pieces of mesh to make a petal that you use a zip tie to close it, because rubber bands are just not strong enough to hold it forever. So anyway, our lolly petal looks like that. Let's do another one. We're going to take our burgundy or maroon, whatever you want to call it, layer it with our orange, match up the sides. I've got it like this, my 10 by 10 inch square, finished edges on right and left, turn it into a diamond shape. I'm going to then take my top corner and my bottom corner. I'm going to just bring it right down, matching up those sides. And your mesh may try to separate, like mine's trying to do right now. Up here, just use your hand to kind of gently force them together. Right? Yeah. There we go. I'm going to turn it. Now I've got this. I'm going to stretch it in the middle. Pinch it. And then I'm going to go right about here and bring this in and this in so that I have a little jellyfish looking thing. I'm going to go ahead and push this down like this. Go up about 2-3 inches away from the center and kind of curl that up a little bit and just push it in like that. Do the same thing over here, just push it in and grab it right here and you'll have a lolly petal. Okay? I'm going to try to make sure I get these close to the same size. About right there. If they're not exact, it's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. As I've learned to make wreaths, I've discovered that, and I've given myself a lot of leeway on perfection because I do have some physical ailments that get in the way sometimes, and so I've had to just learn to not always be perfect. And lolly petals and sunflower petals do not always have to be perfect. Now let's cut these tails. I'm going to make a mess here. Just like this. Oh, that's thick. There we go. Okay, let's get our board here. We're going to put these right in beside the others. And I'm going to turn this so I can see a little bit better. There we go, about like that. Again, I'm making sure that my zip tie on the board is above the zip tie on my petal. Let's cut these zip ties. And I have 2 more lolly petals, and then we can put the center in. So let me take care of those 2 little petals, and I will be back, and we will put the beautiful sunflower bloom in the center. And then I think I may add a few silk leaves too, just for fun. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my lolly petals all done in the center. The sunflower looks like this so far. Just needs that center bloom. And we will have it done. It'll go right in there. just like that. And the lolly petals, you see why I said they didn't have to be perfect? They don't all show. The whole petal doesn't show. It just peeks out. So anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to take this sunflower bloom, and I have cut off, there's a little plastic nub that comes out right here that you could probably stick through the center hole. I've never done that. I've tried and I couldn't get it to work. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add some E6000 and some hot glue, and I'm going to get those things together and I'll be right back. Okay, I have got my little electrical gadget thing here. I'm not sure what these are called, but I'm going to peel the back off, and I'm going to add right where that little center piece was. I'll show you. I'm going to add a little bit of this E6000 if I can get it to come out of the tube. And yes, I hear my Daisy Mae crying in the other room, so bear with me on that. Get this where it will go. Okay. I think I can get, let's see here. Okay. I'm going to put a little dab of E6000 if I can get it to come out of the tube. You guys don't have this problem, do you? Let's see here. Okay, here's the E6000. I'm just going to put a little dab on there, especially since it's just, this tube is getting all clogged. Not sure why. Whoops. And I'm going to put my little electric thing there. And now, that should, when that dries, that'll hold it really permanent. But I'm also going to take some hot glue and go around the little gadget. I'm even going to go, let's see, across the top here, like this. Making sure that I've got all of those edges, those corners. Okay. All right. I'm going to let this dry really well, and then I will be back and we will put our sunflower bloom in the center, and we just might add some silk leaves to the green poly burlap leaves that we have on the wreath. Just going to see what it looks like and play it by ear. I'll be back. Now, what I'm going to do, I have discovered actually that I am going to put the silk, they're silk magnolia leaves. I'm going to put them on every other green petal, and it's real easy to do. Just hot glue them on there and they will add some depth of green. But I also noticed some of my petals were loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and hot glue in the holes to help hold those petals in place. I'll show you what I mean. Let's bring it down. Okay, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to go in each hole just like this. Just a little bit. It'll sink down in there. It'll hold those petals in place. I actually do this to 99.9% of my wreaths because I don't know, I have this thing about petals moving, especially on my angel wings. I don't like those feathers to move. I want them to stay the way that they look when I take my photographs of them. So I'm going all the way around in all these holes. Just a little dab of hot glue. You'll see it sinks down in that hole, holds that in place. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the next row. Going As you can probably tell, I use a lot of hot glue. I believe in hot glue. Okay, I can't see those. All right, let's go on into these. These are our lolly petals. We want them to stay put too. So let's just go ahead and hot glue those things into place. Okay, our leaves. On the leaves, I actually go on the zip tie itself, since these are going from the hole to the edge. So I'll just go along this, the edge. Well, I'm going to go right there, depending on where the petal is. And I'm going to add a little hot glue to keep those stabilized. There we go. All right, I'm going to give this time to dry, and then we'll put our sunflower on. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the magnolia leaves. I purchased these online. They're just they come in a bag of, I don't know, 50 or so. The back side is a red. I've gotten different colors, but they're silk magnolia leaves. They look like this, very pliable. And what I'm doing is, let me find a place to pick this up without burning myself. I'm going around, and let me find where I put it. There they are. Every other leaf, see here, I've got one, let's see, got one right here, like that. Skip, one right here. I'll skip this one, put one here, and they look, and it looks like that when you're through. So see, it really adds some depth and interest to your wreath. This feels dry enough back here to me, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to take my glue gun. I'm going to put, let me put you down again. Up, down, up, down. All right, we're going to go right along the vein, the stem, and then I'm just going to go right in here like that with my glue. And I have my leaf there, so I'm skipping this one, and it's going on this particular leaf right here. And just like that, put it right on there. Look at all those frays. We can kind of cover that up with those silk leaves. We're going to skip this one, go to this one here. Yeah. A little hot glue. Okay. I'm going to put that on this leaf right here, if it'll be still. There we go. Okay. Then I'll just turn my wreath around a little bit. I see another fray there. Actually, several. Let's get another leaf. You have to be careful not to burn yourself like I'm doing. Try not to stick your finger in the hot glue. One right here. Okay. Turn it. skip this one, go to this one. Okay. And you might can hear my little Daisy Mae in the next room crying. She has separation anxiety. And you'd think she was a puppy, but she's 17 years old, little miniature dachshund. And she's spoiled rotten, so she cries for her mama. All right, skip this one, go to this one, right there. Okay, and we're almost done. We skip this one and go to this one. This is our last one. Okay, right here. And there we go. Now we have leaves on, and we can take our sunflower bloom now. I believe it's dry. Yep, it is very dry. And I think I might can get a zip tie through here. Not quite sure, but I'm going to go into my center holes right here on my wreath, these center holes. I'm going to go on the back side and come up. There we go. And actually, no, I go down. Excuse me. I'm going to go down and up. That. And hopefully I'll be able to do that with this electrical thing. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go. Let's see. There we go. Got that. Okay. I'm going to pull this. Now, I'm also, actually, let me get some little pliers, my little jewelry plier things, and I'm going to pull my zip tie as tight as I can. Daisy. Okay. Okay. That about as tight as I can. It's in there good. I'm going to cut this tail. All right. And here's my beautiful sunflower. Losing some petals there. I'm going to have to go around and make sure everything's sticking in place. Here we go. There's our sunflower with our silk leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? Just love it. All the texture and the colors. It really looks like a sunflower, doesn't it? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this brief, fast little tutorial. And if you enjoyed it, please leave me a note. Give me a thumbs up. I've noticed that people don't give thumbs up very often. Give me a thumbs up. It helps boost my day. I will be back again to do more wreaths. Just let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll try to do it. Again, thank you for joining me today. My name is Laura Grisham with Laura Grisham Designs, and I'll see you next time. Bye.